Alright, so one thing I did want to show you guys while the cage is partially disassembled here is cage construction. I meant to make a video while I was building it, but just didn't really get around to it. It took almost 8 hours to build this entire cage. It is a CNC cage, a Cube and Coroplast. Cubes you can get from Target for, you can get them on sale for about 20 bucks for a box of them. There are 5 boxes of them here used to make this cage. And the Coroplast, that's corrugated plastic. It's the kind of material that they make yard signs out of. That you can buy at Home Depot. A sheet of it is about 12 bucks. There's 3 sheets here. You can also get them at places that do custom signs for you. They'll usually sell it to you wholesale and in pre-cut sizes for maybe a little less. The way I constructed these are to be easily removable pull-out trays. So these are cut from one single sheet of Coroplast and taped together so that the entire thing can just come out for easy cleaning. 3 of them identical to that. Cut holes in them. Just use an X-Acto knife. It cuts pretty easy because it's plastic. Just use regular packaging tape, which is also cheap. Side note, the pigs like to chew on it, so you want to make sure that any packing tape you use is out of their reach, or you tape it on the underside. Now, the cubes, when you get them, will come with connectors, which there's a giant bag of them down there. I do not like those. They don't hold them together very well. They're very difficult to snap on. They don't hold a lot of weight, and they cause spacing issues, so your grids won't line up. So what most people do is switch to zip ties. Zip ties, you can get a bag of 1,000 of them for pretty cheap, also at Home Depot. You want to get ones that are rated at about 50 or 75 pounds a piece. Not the small ones, but more medium zip ties. That way they won't snap apart from the weight of the cage. I use probably 200 to 300 zip ties putting this together. If you plan on building something this big, I would recommend getting a tensioning gun, which is used for zip tying ductwork together. It makes it a lot easier to both cut and tighten all the zip ties so your fingers aren't killed. The guns are pretty expensive though, so I wouldn't recommend doing it unless you're planning on doing a lot. The first couple cages I built I did by hand. They were smaller and they worked out fine. So construction started with the bottom layer. This entire cage is a 2x4 grid going all the way up. The grids come in 2 different sizes. There are some where the grids are close together, and then some, like on the bottom there, where they are farther apart. You want to make sure to use the ones with the smaller holes for your cage sides so that your pigs don't try and climb through them or get stuck in them. The bigger hole ones you can use as bases or for the underside of it. So we built a 2x4 base. And then going all the way up, we left the front open so I can use that for storage. I'm going to fill it up in a bit. Normally that holds all the extra hay and food and various other pig supplies. Try and maximize our space since this does take up quite a bit of room. Next level up, I made with a door that folds open. It's just held on by these 2 bulldog clips. They're zip tied together. So back up here, you can see that the entire thing just folds down. Has one easy ramp. That tray slides out. Very easy to clean. Or get access to your pigs because they like to run down there and hide where they think they're safe. Just close it back up. I got 1 on each end. Those hold it pretty well. Next we have second story. So doing one this size ran into some issues with it sagging in the middle. Had to reinforce it with a couple extra pieces and also plan it very carefully so that there was a hole where we could put the ramp to go in between the stories. So this did take quite a bit of planning and quite a few mistakes to get right. This one, to keep the cage from falling apart, the doors actually swing open. So there's two of them that split in the middle. And they fold together, and then you can see the bulldog clips on, binder clips on those. Will hold it in place, keep the pigs from pushing their way out or falling down, which they will try and do. Top row, just lift straight out the top. Couldn't really make another door style and still have the cage be strong enough to hold up. Some people with smaller pets like cats or dogs choose to put a lid on them. Just build another row of the grates that folds over the top to keep pets out of them, or other pets. I don't have any of those, and I'd rather have access to stick my hands in and grab them and feed them and all that fun stuff. I did end up with a few extra grates at the end, so those I just turned into storage on the side here. Additional storage, because they take up quite a bit of extra space.